Hello, it's Muhammad Amr from grade 12 advanced, and today I am going to be solving an equation about inflection point. But first we need to know the steps needed to solve this equation. The steps are dependent on Bloom's taxonomy. First, we need to read the question and highlight what they need. Second, get the second derivative of the function. Third, put the second derivative equal to 0 and solve for x. Fourth, check the quadrants, and then the last step is to substitute in the number line. And also we need to remember the unit circle and how to get the reference angle. For the first quadrant it will be only theta. For the second quadrant it will be pi minus theta. For the third quadrant it will be pi plus theta. And for the fourth quadrant it will be 2 pi minus theta. And we know in the unit circle for the first quadrant all the trigonometric identities are positive. And for the second, sine only is positive. For the third, only tan is positive, and for the fourth, only cosine is positive. So now we have remembered important things. So let's move to our question. F of x equals to sine x plus cosine x. What is the coordinate of inflection point where the function change from concave down to concave up? So we have marked the important things, such as inflection point, concave down, and concave up. Inflection points happens when f double prime of x equals to 0, and that's the shape of concave down, and that's the shape of concave up. So after finishing our first step by reading the question and highlight what they need, we now go to the second step, which is getting the second derivative of the function. So we got f of x equals to sine x plus cosine x. So f prime of x will equal to cosine x minus sine x. And for the third step we get what we need. F double prime of x equals to sine x minus cosine x. After getting the second derivative, we move to the third step, which is putting the second derivative equals to 0. So f double prime of x equals to 0. It will be f double prime of x equals to sine x minus cosine x. That will equal to 0. So now we move to the fourth step, which is solving for x. So we move sine x to the other side. So it will be minus cosine x equals to sine x. Now let's check the quadrants. We can see that minus cosine x equals to sine x at the angle pi over 4. We can see that cosine is negative and sine is positive, and that happens in quadrant 2 and in quadrant 4. So we are going to do pi over 4 minus pi and pi over 4 minus 2 pi. That's the angle pi over 4 over here. It's going to be moved to here like this. So it's going to be minus pi. And to move to the fourth quadrant, it will be like this. And we minus 2 pi from it. Now we move to the last step, which is taking the number line. These two angles, which is 3 pi over 4 and 7 pi over 4. So we got our function f double prime of x equals to cosine x minus sine x. And we draw our number line. We're going to substitute in a value that is less than 3 pi over 4, a value between 7 pi over 4 and 3 pi over 4, and a value higher than 7 pi over 4. We can see that we get a negative value when we substitute in a value less than 3 pi over 4. So the concave will be downwards. When we substitute in a value between them, we will get a positive value. So the concave is going to be upward. And we substitute in a value higher than 7 pi over 4, we get a negative value, so the concave will be downward. When we refer back to our question, it asks us the inflection point where the function change from concave down to concave up. So concave down, concave up. We can see this clearly happening at the point 3 pi over 4. So our answer will be 3 pi over 4. It was Muhammad Amr. Thanks for your listening and have a good day.